Everybody hit the like button. 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 If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. What? Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. Drop your city in the chat.
All right, y'all. We are about to have a fun conversation because we're about to roast the absolute hell out of this dude named Andrew Wilson. So everybody come on in, hit the like button. I got my guy, Real Bays. Introduce yourself real quick.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bays, Real Bays. How is everybody doing? Let go. Thank you for doing this today. I was looking forward to this one.
Yeah, we had to get together. We be in a group chat talking all the time. So yeah, we're gonna start doing like collaborations like on a normal basis with everybody.
I love that intro too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's funny as hell.
So everybody drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. So let's introduce you guys to this guy, Andrew Wilson, for those who don't know who he is. And then we'll go into exactly what he's doing now.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies.
You lick sniz.
Yep.
You lick sniz.
All right. So here's Andrew Wilson, and he's the star of the Whatever podcast, and he gets on there talking crap about women literally every day on this freaking show. It's absolutely disgusting. So check this out.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies.
You lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
I don't take any issue with Andrew Wilson's wife having 3 baby daddies. What I do take issue with is the fact that Andrew Wilson built his platform off of shaming and humiliating women for their past sexual conduct.
So right there, this man makes his money shaming women for their sexual conduct. Like the little red pill dudes, just like Fresh and Fit, all these little dudes. So he is somewhat the white version of Myron Gaines. All right. And what has happened is, well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
If Andrew Wilson met a woman like his wife with 3 baby daddies, he would shame her, call her a hoe, and tell her she's damaged goods and essentially unlovable, like he's done to many women.
He would literally shame the woman, call her a stupid whore, and embarrass the shit out of the woman. So what she's essentially saying is, Andrew Wilson married a woman that he usually talks shit about on the podcast he's paid to be on, to talk shit about women that are like his wife. And that's the hypocrisy that I have a problem with a lot of these red pill dudes who got 3 baby daddies and shit. That's the reason why this young lady brought up, like, well, doesn't your woman have 3 baby daddies? Because you talk shit about women who have 3 baby daddies on your little stupid ass podcast. So she was not out of line by asking, doesn't your wife have 3 baby daddies? You talk shit about women with 3 baby daddies all the time. Okay, so now that you guys are understanding of who this guy is, this is what he just said yesterday on his channel.
A few weeks ago, Brian Atlas, a friend of mine who runs the Whatever podcast, offered up $100,000 for Candace Owens to debate with me about the murder of Charlie Kirk on his platform. He eventually raised it to $150,000, to which I said I would match it if we could actually debate on neutral ground. I expressed this story recently on the Joe Rogan podcast. Candace and her fans' reactions were volatile, to say the least. She issued a strange counter that I needed to pay her $500,000 and that TPUSA needed to, quote, claim me. Now, I don't work for TPUSA, so I couldn't grant that concession, as it would have been a lie. She followed with an offer of me paying $300,000 to debate her at her home on the topic of if Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk and if he was a federal patsy or not. Obviously, this gives massive advantages to Owens, but I'm never one to back down from a debate challenge, even if I think the terms are fundamentally unfair. We entered into negotiations, and during those negotiations, Joe.
So let's stop right there. What did you hear so far, Baze?
Yo, you know what?
This shit is crazy.
You got to listen. You have to like acknowledge what he's doing, though. You know what I mean? Like this is just pure rage bait. It's pure rage bait, because the people that watch Candace and they pay attention to both sides and they view everything objectively, they know that he's been like begging for this for a long time.
Yeah.
And that, the offer started with 100,000, then it went up to 300,000, and he's tagging people online. He's in the X spaces. He's like, oh, why won't Barron debate me? Why won't Candace debate me? And then finally they accept the offer with some stipulations. And, you know, like he's talking about the stipulations and it's not fair. Like Candace just didn't want him to smoke in her house, and she's pregnant. You know what I mean? But what he's doing is he's trying to paint this picture to his audience while simultaneously just poking the bear at Candace's audience to just try to draw more attention to this. Like he understands that he gets more views and attention with the hate that he gets from the other side, and he feeds into it.
Well, the problem I have is the strategy that he's using. So these dudes run around talking crap about women and how they accuse women of being victims. And like, for example, a woman will turn around and have 3 kids by 3 different dudes, and then would turn around and will want a man to come in and take care of her and her 3 children, right? And whether that's good, bad, or whatever, that's not the point. But the woman ruined her life or ruined her chances of getting a certain type of man, right? He turns around and is doing the exact same thing. He starts shit with Candace Owens. Now he's whining about the financial burden that he's accruing because of something that he asked for. The same thing with the women with the baby daddies. Like, what is the difference between him as a man crying about something that he started, and now he's mad that people are attacking him online? You started shit with Candace Owens. Anybody that starts shit with Candace Owens gets crucified online.
Yeah, but it's mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. I mean, everybody's talking about him. He's going to be on Candace's show, on Candace's platform. Now they got PBD involved to moderate. There are a lot more people that know who Andrew Wilson is today that didn't yesterday. I mean, up until this situation, it was only a couple weeks ago that I even found out who this guy was. I never watched Andrew Wilson. I'm not watching whatever the show is where he's like trashing, I guess they're OnlyFans girls or whatever. And that's his shtick. Like, I mean, think about it. If that show was not having the success that it's had, and it wasn't getting all the views, and he was able to make money about, maybe acting the opposite like he really does behind the scenes, he'd be talking about that. He'd be talking about his personal life and how people can change and what. But like, that's what it is. People just ride the wave. They find the lane that works for them, and they just go with it, and they go all the way. And a lot of times, you see this especially with political commentators, is it kind of contradicts what's really going on in their personal lives behind the scenes.
Yes. And that's the problem right there. And I had talked to you in a group chat about like sharing your platform with certain types of people, right? Because you wanted to debate a person. And I said, it's okay to do that, but you have to be careful of what hole you can turn around and put yourself in. Like Andrew Wilson probably has more money, and he does have more clout than I do, as an example, right? But what does everybody see him as? They see him as a loser. They see him as one of these little old, he's this old dude sitting around. He looks like he's 57 years old. And he sits around arguing with little 18-year-old girls, and it's disgusting, right? And he sits around smoking cigarettes or whatever. So the man looks like a pathetic loser, but he has more clout. He has probably more money. And the thing about it is, all money isn't good money. Everybody in the chat, if you agree, say all money isn't good money. You got to pay attention to what hole you end up digging for yourself, because you can end up in a hole with a bunch of money, but now you're stuck in a hole.
You know, and this also goes back to, you know, what I usually talk about on my show with the demoralization of America. And
Yeah.
right now we're having a big problem with the youth. There are a lot of women that are being influenced, whether it's through social media or music or movies, to be more promiscuous. And then, you know, the long-term effect of that over time, over the last decade or two, has been men that are just becoming more isolated, and they're not looking, or I mean, I think it's starting to turn around now, but for a while, men were starting to kind of like give up on the idea of marriage, you know,
Yeah.
because men are, you know, as tough as it is, everything, as tough as men can be on the surface, they are also emotional on the inside. They just keep it more internally. So, you know, men can get very defensive about not wanting to get their hearts broken or not wanting to be with the wrong woman. So
Right.
when you see the direction that the culture is going in, you know, like you're seeing this division between men and women, and there are a lot of people on both sides that are capitalizing on that monetarily with the content that they
Yeah.
create. When I say
Yeah.
both sides, I mean both men and women.
Yeah. So men like Andrew Wilson are putting themselves in a position where they're being seen as total degenerate losers. But at the same time, women, like your point, are out there looking like degenerates also, because all they're doing is shaking their asses online or going on OF. And then they wonder why the world looks at them like they're idiots. So the men are doing it and the women are doing it. So I totally agree. But to a side note point, compared to what we were talking about, we're going to talk about earlier, that is a great segue, even though we're going to still talk about this. The people that own OF, I think so, and the people that own Corn Hub are IHOPians. So, and some people may say people from Philadelphia. I call them IHOPians. And if anybody wants to know what IHOPians is, ask the people in the chat and they'll actually tell you. So
I think they get the idea.
Yeah, because some people may not know. Some people may not know. So,
I normally say Benihana's.
Benihana's. Okay. I'll say it one time, Israel. Okay. So I'm not gonna say it again. But
just air us all out, Aaron.
So the thing about it is, the IHOPians are actually pushing the degeneracy, and we as Americans are falling for it. The men are falling for it. The women are falling for it, because the women are doing all this crazy shit, and then the men are going on podcasts calling the women out for doing all this crazy shit. So the men are getting incentivized for talking shit about the women, and the women are getting incentivized for not dating the men and just doing the stupid shit to, you know, just getting on all these sites. But it's all ran by the same people, the IHOPians. So they're causing division between all of us, and it's making us look like the women are the problem, or black people are the problem, or white people are the problem, or men are the problem. No, the IHOPians are the ones that are pitting all of us against each other. So that's a bigger, like, overencompassing problem that we all are starting to see. All right. So let's get back into this, because we're going to talk about that in a minute. But do you got any thoughts on what I just said about that?
I mean, there's definitely a lot of truth to it. I wouldn't put it all in that category, although, like, when you do look at the organizations and who owns them, it's you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. That's not an opinion, like that's just a fact. But there's also different levels of, and I hate to use the word degeneracy, because I feel like it could come off offensive. And, you know, I'm of the belief that, like, consenting adults, you know, can do whatever they want, dress who they want, love who they want. I don't judge at all. I have my own beliefs, but at the end of the day, like, part of my beliefs is not to judge others. And I feel like at the end of the day, whether you believe or not, like, we're all going to meet our maker one day. We're all going to have to deal with that. And that's up, you know, that's all up to us as individuals to deal with later on. But the problem is, and what really bothers me, and part of the reason why I wanted to start the platform, is the influence that things have on the children. and the long-term effects that that's going to have on society, on our country, and on the world as a whole. And now, as far as Andrew Wilson goes, and the contrast between the type of content that he makes and how he lives his life behind the scenes, the one thing that I will kind of give him credit for is, put it this way, it's better to find out that that's like his life and the situation, and that's his personal life, that's his family. I'm not again, whatever, it is what it is, but that's a lot better than like if there was videos floating around of him like beating women or spinning on women behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So like when I think about Andrew Wilson, I just look at him as an entertainer, and I think that it's shameful that so many people like see him as a real influencer and that they don't really separate the two. I don't think that Andrew Wilson on his show, on his platform, is a role model. I think that it's a show, that it's entertainment. But if the man behind the scenes is living a better life, like, we could call out the hypocrisy, but you just got to like see it for what it is.
Well, here's the problem with that. Even though I understand what you're saying, judgment has to be there, because if we don't judge bad behavior versus presentable behavior, children aren't going to judge bad behavior and
100%.
behavior. You get what I'm saying? So young people are looking up to us. So like, okay, as an example, as an adult male, I love hoes. I have no problem with hoes. I like going to strip clubs and like, so I have no problem with the degeneracy myself, right? So I'm not a hypocrite and be like, those people are terrible people. No, I
don't think anybody's saying that.
Right. That's not, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But the thing about it is when you get on social media promoting the degeneracy, right? So I think every person can have two different lives, right? A school teacher can be like, hi, kids. Today we're going to talk about the cat in the hat, and be this great school teacher that all the kids look up to, right? And then when she gets off work, she could be single and be out here mingling and sleeping around or do whatever she wants to do, right? But as long as she doesn't bring that life into the school and then start showcasing what she's doing outside of the school to the kids, that's essentially what social media is doing. Social media is us along with the kids, because everybody's on social media, right? So when you showcase degeneracy on social media, young people that share social media with us are now looking at the adults like, oh, damn. So they are in the middle of the degeneracy and nobody's calling it out. Apparently it's okay for us to swim around in the degeneracy also.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And it, like I said, I love calling out hypocrisy. It's just, one thing that I see with some people is that they take it to like a personal level where it becomes like this like personal issue. And that's why I say you got to kind of separate the two. Like I said, I don't know who Andrew Wilson is in his personal life. I see who he is, with the content that he makes, which like I said, I've only started, gotten introduced to more recently. But like, if I make a video where I'm like calling this out or laughing at that, it's not like a personal issue. Like I'm not trying to promote hate either. And I think that, and more so because I've seen all the toxicity that's been increasing lately on social media. I just think that it's important to acknowledge that as well.
I agree with you. So back to Andrew Wilson. This man has put up a give, send, go, and is acting like a victim of something that he actually started. So let's get back to what he was saying.
And contacted us both asking to host our debate.
So hold on, let me back it up a little bit because it's important.
Patsy or not. Obviously, this gives massive advantages to Owens, but I'm never one to back down from a debate challenge, even if I think the terms are fundamentally unfair.
You see what I'm saying,
but you gotta kind of love it too, though. The fact that he can fucking startle. Am I allowed to curse? Sorry.
Yeah, don't curse that much. Go ahead.
No, I'll try not to. My bad. But the fact that he can start all this up stir the pot, take all these shots, rile everybody up, and then you know what I mean? All of a sudden there's no cigarette in the hand, there's no, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
he's just
Black
looking like a normal guy
background.
up, and he's like, I offered 100,000, she wanted 300,000, and now she's dictating all these terms. And I don't think it's fair, but I've never been one to back down from a fight.
Oh
It's
my
it's rage bait.
God.
It's rage
Yes.
bait. He wants everyone to call him out. He wants everybody to engage.
Yo,
And he's getting what he wants.
and we're talking about him also.
He's getting what he wants.
Oh my God, man. So I feel I don't even know how to feel about this because let's just keep going. Because my thing is I have a problem. The red pill space in particular, and that's not really what we're talking about, but the red pill space in particular. It says on the outside that it promotes masculinity and high value manhood, but all of these dudes act like this. When they get called out, they start crying and whining about, oh my God, this is unfair. This is so much of a financial burden, but you offered the money and now you're crying about the money that you offered. And now you can't pay your rent. This shit is just crazy. So yes, you can look at this.
Do you think that's true though? You think he went all in on this?
What do you mean exactly?
No, like the money that he's putting up. Do you? Because like I said, I don't know about the guy. Like because you said now he can't pay his rent. Is that
okay? In my opinion, he's working with Turning Point USA, and Turning Point USA is funding the whole thing. In my opinion. And the whatever podcast, he offered $100,000 in order to get Candace to come on the whatever podcast, right? So they can debate on the podcast, and he would have made the money. But now, since it's not on the whatever podcast, I don't think the whatever podcast is funding this anymore.
Yeah, why would they?
They're not on it. They're not into this, right? So I'm sure he went to Turning Point USA. And they got, long pockets. So most likely they're funding the whole thing. But at the end of the day, regardless of he's lying or not, he's promoting male victimhood. And that is a problem I have with the red pill space. So it's two different entities. It's the red pill dudes and it's the Turning Point USA people, right?
Do you know, because like now that I've become a content creator myself and put out I pay more attention to the analytics and demographics. Yeah. Do you know what his the demographics of his fan base are?
Yes, it's pathetic loser incels. See, what happens is dudes who build their platform off of the backs of women are disgusting ingrates, in my opinion. Because you're not into shaming, that's cool, but I'm into shaming. These dudes are pieces of shit, in my opinion. All right. If you were to meet me and the way you know me is by me arguing with women every day, I would be a pathetic loser in a lot of people's minds. Because the thing about it is, you shit on women, you talk shit about women, but the way you get people to watch you is by shitting on the same women that you say you don't like. So is the Kevin Samuels, is the Fresh and Fits, and it's the whatever podcast, and of course the Andrew Wilsons. So all of these dudes literally built their platforms off the backs of white and black women, young and older women, because they shame the older women. Oh, you're never going to find a man because you hit the wall. You're too old. And then they shit on the young women. Oh, you're too stupid because you're young and you don't know what you're doing. And then they just argue with women all day. So they make their money. They get their clout off the backs of women. And is a part of the degeneracy, because they bring on the worst women. Because they get the OF models. They don't get young girls that are looking to learn about male this or how to date or how to be a better woman. They get the degenerate side of the women, and then they get them on the platform and they start talking shit to them. But you went and got them. It's like me yelling at a homeless person. You dumb loser. You don't even have a job. You don't have anywhere to live. You live up under this this bridge. You're a bum. And
That becomes the question then. If Andrew Wilson and the people that he works with had the choice that it's like, okay, things can keep going the way that it's going, and the country's gonna, get more degenerative, and you're gonna make more money, or you could wave a magic wand and ban OnlyFans and ban similar content from getting made.
Say
but
OF.
you can OF, sorry,
Yeah.
ban OF, ban other things like similar content from getting made, but you're out of business. You gotta start fresh. What do you think they would do?
So you're saying, to a certain degree,
I'm saying that if Andrew Wilson had the choice right now
Mhm.
to ban that type of content and just eradicate it from society, and that he would have to do something completely different, or just let things rock and keep going in the direction that it's going because he's, monetizing off it and finding it beneficial, what do you think he would do?
He would keep going because he himself is, in my opinion, a degenerate loser. And that's what I'm saying. See, when you are able to become an influencer, that comes with responsibility. They said that, that was a huge thing in Spider-Man. That's what his uncle said. He said, with great power comes with great responsibility, right? So the thing about it is, as a man that has kids, because I think he has a wife with 3 different baby daddies. So
that's true?
Yeah, it's true.
I know that it was said. So
so
is he one of the baby daddies?
I don't know. I don't know that. I just know he has a wife with 3 different baby daddies. So I don't know. So he's raising somebody else's kids to learn how to be a degenerate like their stepdaddy. And I think that's problematic because, especially when you're somebody who has kids, you start to see things a little bit differently. And you're like, all right, I can go over here and just be this, but I got kids. So I got to stay over here and stay away from that, or at least stay away from that on social media. Because like I said, I go to strip clubs. So, I'm okay with it, but I don't put it out there because young people watch me or whatever, right? So I don't want to just brag about that stuff, but I don't want to be a hypocrite also, because somebody that watches me may say, hey man, I seen you in the strip club the other night. You're a hypocrite, right? So I kind of at least have to acknowledge that I do certain things and I'm okay with certain things, but I don't like make it a spectacle and brag about it. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, to answer your question again, he is a degenerate. So of course he's going to want the world to stay degenerate. You know what I'm saying? I, in particular, am not a degenerate, and I would choose to eradicate that stuff and for us to just go back to being hardworking people and just get it out of the mud instead of doing all this other stuff. So it comes from who you are as a person, because I have to have integrity because I have girls, I have daughters,
Yeah. When you have daughters, that really changes your perspective on things a lot. I feel like you take things a lot more serious, and I feel like it should be that way even if you don't have daughters. I think that's part of the problem too, is that a lot of men in America, they always prioritize making sure that they raise their daughters a certain way and that they grow up a certain way, but it's just as important for parents to make sure that they're raising men the right way and raising men to know how to treat women as well.
Yeah. So I agree with you. But when you have a kid, certain things change about you, or certain things are supposed to change about you, because now you're a parent. You have little people out there that have little friends that watch you and are being, so the thing about it is, like, your kid has to go out in the world and not be a degenerate, just like you have to go out in the world and not be a degenerate. But if you don't have kids, I agree. But I think it brings something more out of you when you're a parent.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, when you don't have kids, you still have a responsibility,
I think everybody has a responsibility. Again, you look at you look at the demoralization that's happened in our country over the last couple of decades, and it's gotten a lot worse in like the last 20 years or so. And I feel like people need to wake up to that and realize that the trajectory and the direction that we're heading as a nation is just not good. And everybody should be taking a step back and just reevaluating their lives and their situations, and just ask themselves, like, are you giving something back to the world? Are you doing something to make the world better? Or
Yeah.
are you just trying to get by and profit and just adding to the chaos? And I think
agree.
that on the most simplified level of people like Andrew Wilson, is that's like the core issue, and that's the real hypocrisy. It's that these people have platforms, they have influence over thousands of people, and
Yeah.
instead of using that for good and trying to make people nicer and kinder and make the world better, that they just get these like little grifts going with the shtick, and they're just stirring the pot more, and like, screw it, I'm making money, I'm taking
Yeah.
care of my family. Everybody's the hero in their own story, you know what I mean?
And it's just like Officer Tatum, Officer Tater Tot. He's a
Officer Tater Tot.
he's a black guy that runs around shitting on black people, and everything white people do, they're amazing, but everything black people do is crazy. Like, as an example, in the Nolan Wells case, for the longest, he's been trying to shield Erica Kirk from people talking shit about her possibly having something to do with her husband passing away, right? Whether it's true or not. He's like, stop talking to that woman, about that woman. She's a widow. She lost her husband. Do you have any type of decorum about yourself? But then Nolan Wells' mother, because losing your child is way worse than losing your husband, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, well,
Hold on.
there's nothing worse than losing a child.
Right. So let me make a point. So she's over here grieving the same way Erica Kirk is grieving. And he's over there harassing this woman that lost her son, but was shitting on us harassing a woman that lost her husband. But the difference is Erica Kirk is white and Nolan Wells' mother is black. So that's what I'm saying. The degeneracy it's like it gets to the point where, when does it stop? Who is actually going to be the good guys and not the bad guys?
Well, I could actually add to that point real quick too,
Yeah.
because I just did an interview with Lala Andrews from New Black America.
Uh-huh.
She used to work for Blexit, and for
Okay.
the company that Brandon Tatum and Candace Owens started, that Charlie Kirk and TPUSA ended up absorbing or buying, or however
Yeah.
that deal went. And she said in the interview, because she was talking about how Brandon Tatum was making a big deal about Nolan Wells' family setting up like some sort of GoFundMe or something, and she
Yeah.
said, like, how is that any different than what TPUSA is doing with all the donations and all the money that they've been collecting since Charlie died?
Okay.
And trademarking the signature so that they could sell all these shirts and sell all this merch and profit off of Charlie dying. But the difference is, I don't know what Nolan Wells' family's financial situation is, but I'm sure it's nowhere near as good as Erica Kirk's and the people at TPUSA. So, like, it's another level of hypocrisy.
Right. And to go farther with that answer, because I'm glad you brought that up, the biggest difference is it's not just about money. To me, it's about somebody killed Charlie Kirk in order for somebody else to take advantage of something. So regardless of what people think about who orchestrated or who had something to do with Charlie Kirk getting murdered, the people that murdered Charlie Kirk needed him to get out of the way so Turning Point USA can be what it is today. And I'm not saying Turning Point USA did it, but there are thousands of donors throughout the years of Turning Point USA that were mad that Charlie Kirk started going away from the IHOPian cause, right? So that being said, somebody killed Charlie Kirk for Turning Point USA to be doing what Turning Point USA is presently doing, regardless of who's behind it. But when it comes to Nolan Wells' family, Nolan Wells didn't start a Republican company and a podcast and somebody got rid of Nolan Wells because Nolan Wells was in the way of his family growing. So you look at the why, you look at the thing that is driving somebody killing somebody.
One thing that I not even want to push back, but I just want to point out, you know, because personally, I think that it gets a little dangerous when you start assuming motives, and it's really unfortunate that we haven't had a legitimate investigation to find out, you know, if there's more to what's going on. We clearly know that there's more going on with the Charlie Kirk case, and that the story that they're giving us, you know, the math isn't mathing. Like, there's no doubt about that, and we need a legitimate investigation. But it's also important to point out that it is plausible that, you know, Charlie Kirk was taken off the board by some unknown person for some unknown reason, and that TPUSA is just in a position where they're just making the most of it and profiting off of the situation.
Okay,
because to say to assume, I'm saying it's totally plausible. I'm not saying that that's not the case. I'm just saying that, like, when you understand how situations happen in politics, like I mean, how many times have you seen that, like, a black man gets killed by police, and all of a sudden Al Sharpton shows up, and then you know, the NGOs start coming out. It doesn't mean that they were responsible for the black person getting shot. It's I'm just pointing out that, like, once Charlie Kirk got killed, it got politicized. A power vacuum opened up. Charlie Kirk, when he was alive and he was running TPUSA, he was the influence. Once Charlie's off the board, who's the influence? Is there somebody there influencing the politics, or is the politics influencing TPUSA, and somebody come along saying, look, now that Charlie's gone, we'll get involved, we'll take care of it, play ball, and then all of a sudden you see all these changes?
So the politics was always influencing Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. And it kind of like goes back to why the degenerate people are doing degenerate things, because it makes them money. So you got to look at that. If things don't make people money, they usually don't do it, right? That's just as a whole, overall, whether it's good or bad. So you have to look at how these people or entities or individuals are being funded. It's because they're getting incentivized by views, incentivized by donors, or incentivized by companies wanting to sponsor them. And then when you see there, because you said it's starting a vacuum, I think the vacuum was already there. It's just a bigger vacuum now because Charlie Kirk died, and it's like a big spectacle, right? It calls everybody to pay attention, because sadly, when people die, whether it's a rapper that died or a politician that died, more people get sucked in the vacuum and start talking about the thing. So so I'll just
the whole point that I was trying to make is the first time when we had, you know, that war with Iran that lasted about a week, when you know, the US hit the nuclear facilities. Charlie Kirk showed up to the White House and tried to talk sense into Trump to influence him to back out. The point that I was trying to make is, I don't think that happened this time around. I don't think that Erica Kirk was showing up at the White House saying, hey Trump, I don't think we should do this.
So that's my point. Whoever they is, because it's thousands of sponsors throughout the years that have put money into Turning Point USA. You agree with that, right?
Yeah, of course. Well, I don't know how many, but yeah, I mean, they've been collecting tens of millions of dollars.
Right. So they put tens of millions of dollars into Turning Point USA since 2000, probably 17, 15, or something like that, right?
Even before that, but in those early years, it wasn't making as much. But yeah, I think it goes
Bill
back
Montgomery started this whole thing off, and he
like
gave
2014.
Yeah, 2014. He gave Charlie Kirk $1.7 million, as far as I know. So the thing about it is a they. We don't know who the they is. It could be Turning Point USA, or it could be one of these many donors, or it could be another country. Could be IHOP. I don't know. But the bottom line is,
every time you say IHOP, I just
but I actually love this conversation we're having, because it's the causality. They needed Charlie Kirk out of the way, because see, it's like this: when you take the money, you are now in bed with these people.
Well, right? That's like the mafia. Yeah, it's like once you're in, you know.
Yeah, so when you become part of the mafia and you take the money, you take the fruits of what the mafia can offer you, right? You now can't turn away. So Charlie Kirk turned everything away and started changing his way of thinking, which is a good thing. And they killed him. They killed him, or they made it look like, shout out to Jesse, made it look like he's dead, right? Either
Yeah,
way.
I was gonna say I wouldn't completely rule out that he's in WITSEC, because when
Right.
you look at all these anomalies and all this weirdness in the case, it's
Mhm.
like the more evidence that we see, the more footage that we see, it feels like the more people would have been needed to be involved to some
Mhm.
degree.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the question is, what were they actually involved in, or what did they think that they were involved in?
Right. Right. So when Charlie Kirk died, it was, in my opinion, and I was saying everybody's opinion, especially Candace Owens' opinion, it was a spectacle. They did it while he was out in the open like that, in order to warn the rest of us, big and small, that we can get all of y'all. And all of y'all are the enemy, or we are the enemy to all of y'all. Black, white, young, old, male, female, right? So going back to the original point, or one of the original points, it just showed me that we all are in the same boat, whether you're black, male, whether you're black, white, male, female, older, or younger. Because I think older people and younger people be going at it also, you know.
Oh,
Oh,
100%.
you young
100%.
people, you don't know what you're talking about. Or they be like, you old heads, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all too old, right? So it's like all of these different groups of people. Now we now see that it's all of us against a common enemy, and I think that's a good thing. Have that has changed with all of this, because now we all, because they, whoever they is, I don't want to say who they are, they see us as cattle. And as black people, we used to think we are the only people that people thought were cattle or looked at as cattle. No, white people are cattle also. Women are cattle. Our kids are cattle to them. You know what I'm saying? So now you're like, damn, they hate all of us. And getting rid of Charlie Kirk showed all of us that they don't give a damn about none of us. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because now, like the direction that it's going, the
Mhm.
conversation, like I never understood racism, but
Mhm.
as I got older, I understood how the mainstream media and a lot of these NGOs would prey on people's insecurities
Mhm.
and the isolation. Because you have, different communities. Like I'm in New York. I don't. You're in Atlanta, right?
Atlanta, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it is in Atlanta, but like in New York, especially in Queens, like there's all different neighborhoods. You have a neighborhood that's predominantly Oriental. You have one that's predominantly Black and
Yeah.
Spanish, and like people are comfortable with people that look like them, that talk like them, that have the same culture. Like that is
Mhm.
natural. And when you
Natural.
when you have kids, like it makes sense for people to want to have their child be
Mhm.
with somebody that's more consistent with their culture and their values. But you have these NGOs that start trying to nitpick and cause division. It's almost like they force integration, and then just to cherry pick and put emphasis on certain situations, and you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
certain individuals, to just try to, like, it's like they take advantage of the differences that people have, and they make things bigger than they are.
Yes.
And that it's systematic, and it's done
Yeah.
for a reason. Like they want people to be isolated and to feel like everybody's against them.
Mhm.
It's kind of like straight out of Art of War, like the Sun Tzu book. It's just
Yeah.
divide and conquer. It's like keep everybody like looking at the other with the side eye
Mhm.
within the communities, keep everybody isolated, make everybody think that the other people are the problem, make Black people think that the white man is the issue, make
Yeah.
white people think that they're broke because they're getting overtaxed for welfare, when in
Mhm.
reality everybody's being oppressed and
Yeah.
everybody's robbed blind. But
Right.
as long as we're blaming each other and fighting each other, then nobody ever gets organized and does anything about it.
And my goal, to a certain degree, is to change the system. You know, not change the person, not change that person over there, that person over there, because that's going to change the actual system. Because if we change the system and like just as influencers ourselves, and then we start influencing more people than the degenerates are influencing, and give them a feature and benefit to being over here versus over here, because over there, because the thing about it is over there, the degeneracy in itself is the feature and the benefit, right? So then people are going to say, okay, well, I'm getting this, I'm getting that, and I'm able to do this. I got the freedom to just be literal and just, you know, whatever, all kind of degenerate stuff. What are you guys over here offering? So we have to systematically offer everybody a better life and a better future over here than the degenerates. And part of my way of doing that is showing who are the actual degenerates. Because a lot of people, when I talk shit about Andrew Wilson, Myron, and the red pill dudes, people get mad at me. They're like, what are you talking about? Red pill means so and so, because they get that stupid shit from an actual movie, which is damn, what's the damn movie with Neo?
Oh, The Matrix.
The Matrix. So we got a bunch of grown ass men who are living a life off of a fictitious movie. Oh, I took the red pill. And it sounds cute, but grown ass men are living their lives off of a fictitious movie because of their arrested development. And then when you look at the aspects of what Andrew Wilson talks about and the red pill people talk about, they talk about body count. Well, I want a woman with no bodies or a low body count. And then they talk about age, right? And I'm getting somewhere with this. I want a younger woman because when she gets this age, she hits the wall. What that actually is doing in 3 different phases. One is there's an undercurrent. The body count thing is pushing men to date young women. The age thing, of course, by understanding, it's pushing men to only date young women, right? It's pushing PDF file behavior. That's the undercurrent, because the more they pull people into only wanting to date young women, only date women who have a 0 body count. There's only one demographic of women that have 2 bodies or 0 bodies. And those are the women that are at this age versus the rest of us. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
you made a very good point.
Right. So there's an undercurrent that the guys like Andrew Wilson and the Myron Gaines are pushing young men to be or do, which is date women that are tadpoles instead of grown women. Because when you're a grown man, you're out here having sex. When you're a grown woman, you're out here having sex.
And that's what they do. You know, like I said, I only got introduced to Andrew Wilson. I didn't know who he was 2 months ago. Myron, I know who he is, but it's mostly like just from like clips that I've seen on social media here and there, where it's usually he's debating on IHOP. I haven't seen any of his content where he's like talking about like.
Oh, so you don't see him on the show?
No. The way I see it, especially now that I'm making content and I have to like cover so many different things, it's like the content that you absorb, you know, the things that you watch, the music that you listen to, what you read. It's not that you become it, but like you're absorbing it into your being. You know what I mean? So like I try to just pay more attention when I have to, like in my own time, when I'm not on camera and I'm not doing research, I spend just time with family, time in isolation. I don't even watch TV anymore. I very, very rarely watch TV shows. I'll watch like a movie now and then, but like I'm just kind of like becoming more traditional and just doing more reading and just like I don't there's only so much time in the day. I'm not going to spend my time like feeding into and absorbing content that promotes the degeneracy. So it's so conversations like this on certain people and certain topics, like I'm limited on what I know about some of these people.
And that's a good thing. That's literally a good thing. And I'm happy that you don't know about a lot of these things, because that means there are people that, okay, sometimes you think everybody knows this person, right? Like Michael Jackson or whatever, right? Then somebody might say, who's Michael Jackson? You're like, you don't know Michael Jackson, right? So there are people who don't know certain people. Just because you know them don't mean everybody knows them, right? But when you look at the fact that you don't know a certain, I would say, aspect of degeneracy on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, that means that there are young people that may not know either, which says a lot. And it makes me smile about that, because sometimes we think we're just entrenched or immersed in all this other stuff. Other people don't even see it come on their timeline. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, no,
That's really a good thing.
yeah, that doesn't. That's
And then
what I
it
mean.
shows
It
that
doesn't hit my algorithm.
Yeah, there's a world where the degeneracy isn't reaching a certain demographic of people. That's good. So I'm glad, because you think everybody has seen this and you're like, oh my God. So because if you don't see it, there's young people that don't see it either.
Yeah, my kids don't know who any of these people are. You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah. So let's get back to the Andrew Wilson video. But this is a great conversation. I'm glad.
Yeah, I told you when we did that last, because we've streamed it a couple of times now in the group streams.
Yeah.
But that last one that we did, because the first couple times you did, there was like a lot of us, playing cards and whatnot. But then when we did the one with Nate and Jesse on the NDAA, and then Jesse had to leave early, it was like the first time that you and me got to like really have dialogue going back and forth. And I'm like, wow, I like the way that this guy thinks.
Yeah.
And that was when I reached out to you after the fact. I'm like, yo, like one day we got to make this happen. And I'm glad that we finally are. And I hope that we do in the future.
Yeah. Let's do this on a normal basis, because like the fact that it's like this. One, you are so versed in one thing, right? And then I'm versed in another thing. We can kind of like learn from each other, and us learning from each other in real time is teaching the audience something also. So
that's true.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. All right, so let's get back to this. So yeah, we need to. So everybody say yes or no in the chat if you would like to see me and Baze do more content together. Because say yes or no in the chat, because this is really good. It's really good, because we ain't even talking about Andrew Wilson no more.
We'll get back to it. Look at that face. Look at those puppy dog eyes. He's like, it might not be fair, but I've never been one to back down from a fight, no matter how unfair it is. Yo, I just hope that he gets there and Candace has a freaking jar of pickles on the desk. Like pregnant women like pickles, It's like, Andrew, can you open this for me?
I wish they would have had the girl as a moderator that called him out with this girl right here with the 2 baby daddies. This girl, 3 baby daddies right here.
My wife has 3 baby daddies.
You lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
I don't take any issue with Andrew Wilson's wife having 3 baby daddies. What I do take issue with is the fact that Andrew Wilson built his platform off of shaming and humiliating women for their past sexual conduct. If Andrew Wilson met a woman like his wife with 3 baby daddies, he would shame her, call her a hoe, and tell her she's damaged goods and essentially unlovable, like he's done to many women.
He would. So
oh, you go first.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like that, like I see that, and I see that as a tragic consequence for the path that Andrew has gone down with making content, because like people don't talk like that when. Like, I'll put it this way: happy people that are secure and they're comfortable with their decisions and they're comfortable with their lives don't talk like that to women.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's nothing like I could have a debate. They could say whatever they want. Like I've had people like talk about my dead brother and I don't let it like trigger me in that way where I'm going to like lash out and just start calling names. It's like, so when you see that and when you're young, you don't really know. But when you're older and you're mature and you're like emotionally mature, like, and then you see people lash out like that, like you see it differently. Like when I see that, I see like an insecure man who is like she struck a nerve.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
she struck a nerve like that affected him in some way. And that was his response. But like I said, the sad part is that is the consequence for the content that he's making, the way that he's trashing women, you know, the little shtick that he has going, and then the mirror getting put in front of him after the fact.
And the fact that women are like, he goes after women. He tries to make women seem like they're inferior or whatever, right? And I love the fact that women are the ones that are calling him out and clowning him on his own podcast. So Candace is going to clown him just like that young lady clowned him.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
All right, everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. We're going to do a quick commercial break, and then we're going to get back to this Andrew Wilson situation.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
Man, you really got it going on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
The intro, you got your own ads going. Yo, I got to step up my game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So for those who don't know, because we got a different audience over here now, I sell card games. I am a coach, and I would say not just a coach. I'm an emotional attachment coach. That means the reason why people like Andrew Wilson are out here as an adult male looking like he's 57 years old and he's only 40, smoking cigarettes, and he's running around arguing with women, most likely he did not have a good relationship with his mother and or father. And I help people deal with those problematic issues from their past with my card games. So this particular card game that I'm talking about right now is a mother-daughter card game. And I'm working on the app, me and Danks working on an app where we're going to have a father-son card game, mother-son card game, and all these different card games on one app. So I'm still working on that. So a lot of people are the way they are because of their lack of relationship with their parents or their positive relationship with their parents. So good people have good relationships with their parents. Bad people most likely have bad relationships with their parents. So this mother-daughter card game is meant in particular to help women deal with their maladaptive issues with their mothers or their maladaptive issues with their daughters. And I'm almost sold out. So make sure to get your mother-daughter card game. Is under this video or is a link in the chat and is pinned at the top of the chat. Y'all have been buying these card games like crazy. So I still have card games left. So make sure to get your mother-daughter card game if you're a woman that has an issue with your mother or daughter, or if you're a guy that has people in their family or a wife that may have issues with their mother or their daughter. Because when I'm dating a woman, her problems or her relationship with her mother is going to affect us if like directly how she operates with me usually has something to do with how her relationship with her mother. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big thing.
Yeah, no, I know that from experience on both ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I actually, talk about these political things because like me and you have talked about, it's bigger than just relationships. It's your relationship with family members. It's not just romance and all this other stuff. So yeah.
Well, what I was saying before about
Huh?
but remember what I was saying before about the content that you absorb and why I
Yeah.
don't even like bring it in.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't just go for content. That goes for the energy and like the dialogue that you put out into the world as well.
Yes.
So when you're out in the world and you have people lashing out at each other, you see like you're on X, you see all the back and forth and toxicity, like that has a negative effect on people.
Yes.
And it happens not just online and with the content you watch, but your interactions with people in the real world as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everything has everything to do with everything. And we have to stop trying to act like our childhood trauma or this over here that we haven't had resolved doesn't like affect us. So when you look at Andrew Wilson, most likely he has issues with his mother, because men who shit on women all day have issues with the first woman that probably shitted on them all their lives as young boys. So Andrew Wilson, 1000%, I'm just assuming, has issues with his mother. What's the video? Here we go.
Negotiations, and during those negotiations, Joe Rogan contacted us both, asking to host our debate. Obviously, I thought that changed everything, as that would guarantee the biggest platform for both of us to make our case on neutral ground. Unsurprisingly to me, Candace Owens declined. No control, you see. She insisted it be at her home still, even after Rogan said he would come in on his off day to do the debate, and I would still give her the $300,000. You would think if she was actually trying to change the minds of normies and reach a new audience, that's where she would go, but sadly no. After many rounds of negotiations and a new moderator stepping in who assures us it'll be fair, we came to an agreement. I went ahead and sent the $300,000, and it has been confirmed by her staff and to us that it has been sent. I am going to clear the air on a few things. I know I'm not a very nice man. I get that. But I am a very kind man.
It's what you say. It's what you're saying. It's like he is just sucking ass. Just
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, I'm a victim, and it's almost like one of those commercials where they're trying to get you to buy something. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, he's trying to get you to buy his bullshit.
Yeah.
How god awful the family and friends of Charlie must feel about what happened to him after he died. Trying to find some new normal under intense media scrutiny, balancing duty and obligation with remorse, regret, and overwhelming sadness. My stated objective for my platform, The Crucible, has been unwavering, and I've never strayed from its goal.
Unwavering.
Destroy the left. Take them on everywhere on their own turf, outside their turf, at their events, in their safe spaces, challenge them everywhere and destroy their ideas.
So what do you think about that? His goal is to destroy the left. What is your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, like I said, when you get into politics, whenever you pander to one side, your probability of success is going to be a lot higher because it's easier to rally support. But the problem is the people that make the most money in that space and find the most success are usually the ones that are the most divisive.
Yes.
So the question is he really trying to, because his followers, and he has a very strong following with a very loyal core audience.
Yeah.
But the question is what he's doing really for them, and is it really for the cause? And is what he's doing going to actually help the situation, or is he just taking advantage of the chaos and rallying people for a profit?
And that's the actual problem. So he's in two different worlds. He's in the political leftist versus right world, and he's in the relationship world where he's arguing with women all day, right? So he goes on a whatever podcast, and I believe that's where the majority of his followers kind of like came from. So, because when you go on a big podcast and you're like the star of the big podcast, and you go on there and you're kind of like their pit bull, and then they'll bring you women for you to just devour and just shit on and talk shit. You have a lot of young men who also have mother issues, who also can't get women, who also are incels, who also have all these problems in their lives, and they start looking at Andrew Wilson as their hero, right? So then he goes on his own platform and brings all of those young boys, and this is the problem. All those young boys that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, that just hate women because they can't get women. And now they get those young men to start hating leftists. And now he has those guys, and now he has a dossier of people that will follow him no matter where he goes. And now he's like, we hate the left, but the right wing are doing the same debauchery as the leftists are. And
Well,
that's the problem. So
the
it's a weaponization of one demographic and bringing them in to weaponize something over here, and they don't even know what the hell all this stuff is. Go ahead.
Sorry, I thought you were done. You paused for a second.
No, it's good.
What I was gonna say is the worst part about that video is that he's lying to his audience. And the reason that I personally don't think that Andrew is genuine is because he's not helping the cause.
Right.
All he's really doing is feeding the same machine that caused the problems that he criticizes.
Yes, that's a fact.
Because the more you feed the machine and feed into the division and this whole, you're just making it easier for the people that are causing the degeneracy to divide us and conquer us to do so.
Yeah. So the goal, because like I said earlier, I want to just overall, as time goes by, to build a system that brings us together and not separates us, So, and my judgment isn't the people that have the problems, it's to give the people with a problem a solution. But my judgment is the people that are trying to separate us, right? Because you said it's not really a good idea to just be judging people or ridiculing people. Well, in this world, there has to be a heaven and a hell for people, because we think, what is the word? I'm trying to think. What is 0 and 1? What is that? What is the word?
Oh, you're talking about binary.
Binary. We think in a binary way, right? So there has to be an up, down, left, right, black, white, or good, bad, right? It's just heaven and hell. So we have to operate from a binary standpoint, but we have to show people what the 0 is and what the 1 is, because most people don't necessarily know. Is it women versus men? Is it black people versus white people? No, it's the degenerates that are trying to push separation and the other people that are trying to push people to work together. So when you look at a person or a group of people, do they have a solution? And are there features and benefits to said solution? There is no solution to the red pill dudes. There is no solution to what this low life Andrew Wilson is offering. His offering is, I don't like the left, and I want to argue and I want to debate with women. I want to debate with leftists. I want to do this. It's still division because you're fighting and arguing. Arguing and fighting cannot be a solution. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. I mean, I'll give a hot take right now, or what might be considered a hot take to some, and some it might be common sense to others.
Yeah.
But like we've seen in the past 15 years, the rise of the promotion of the LGBTQ community, and like I said, what consenting adults do in their own time, their own business. I don't care. I don't judge. I have gay friends and some trans people and whatnot. But at the same time, when it comes to like schools, I would rather schools be promoting Christian ethics than like having a transgender person in a kindergarten class reading a book about why it's okay to be gay. And it's not because I have anything against gay people, but I feel like when it comes to kids, there should be certain influence. Like there are things that are for kids and there are things that are for adults. But the point that I'm trying to make is just because I have that belief, it doesn't mean I'm going to go set up a tent somewhere and try to draw in gay people to attack them or attack trans people or make a bunch of videos criticizing them. You know what I mean? That's wouldn't help anything anyway. All it does is stir the pot and provoke people to try to push it more. It's toxic. At the end of the day, everybody should be trying to find common ground. Everybody should be trying to understand that a lot of us are broken in our own way, and we should be trying to find solutions to heal ourselves and to heal others, regardless of our politics, regardless of the color of our skin or our ideologies. And some of these conversations are harder to have than others, but they need to be had. Because if people don't come together and have these conversations, you're going to see just people like the Andrew Wilsons of the world just running amok and just causing more division.
Yeah. So that is the psyop that nobody sees. When Andrew Wilson goes at it with a leftist trans person, him being in the same environment with the leftist trans person is going to have non-leftist trans people to go look at what the leftist trans person is doing. So that's the psyop. They pit this person with this person, and then some of the people over here start following the person over here. So as an example right now, your followers are going to now start subscribing to me, and my followers are going to start subscribing to you because we are on the same platform together. Do you agree?
Yeah, 100%.
So if I have some different type of person on this platform and we're going back and forth, and say the other person has better points than me, now my audience is going to start following the person that I'm telling them not to follow. So if you don't want somebody to do something, you don't put yourself in that environment. Just like you said, you don't follow a lot of this stuff. Therefore, you don't see it. Therefore, your kids aren't exposed to it. But when you, or if you were to just start watching all this stuff, like, I hate this, hate watching, or going on a debate with a person, your kids can turn, oh, that's daddy. What is daddy doing? And next thing you know, that your kids can turn around and start following the other person that you're trying to say don't follow. So that is the psyop that I'm talking about. These red pill dudes, they get on here and argue with women that they are telling their audience not to follow. By proxy, they're going to follow the women that are telling them not to follow because they're bringing them on their platform.
Well, they're promoting
that is
it. They're promoting it, and it's one thing,
and not telling. So go ahead.
I was just gonna say you're right, but there is a important point that I do want to make though.
Okay.
Like me, I'll put it this way. There would be a difference if they had a debate or conversation like that once in good faith for understanding and educational purposes. But when you make it the show, when you make it the shtick and it's day in and day out, then yes, you're promoting both sides. You're promoting the hate and you're promoting the degeneracy. Like that's basically the two sides that you're saying. It's like, well, which one do you think it's right? Do you think it's the guy that's trashing women and has no respect for women? Or do you think it's the girl who's getting attacked that's, promoting the degeneracy and saying that it's okay? You're not even giving the third option, like the logical, like someone like you and me that could break things down and why things are good, why things are wrong, the effects that it's going to have in like a healthy way where you're actually promoting a role model for children.
Exactly. So just as an example, I played this before, but I want to use this as an example. So just look at this as an example.
Wife has 3 baby daddies.
You lick sniz.
Hold on.
You lick sniz. Don't talk shit about my.
Hold on. So say right here, his audience is like, yeah, forget these whores or forget this woman is gay or whatever, right? He is there to say that this woman is bad, but she turns around and owns him.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies.
You lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
So he turns around and does that, right? And he gets now he's looking stupid. But the goal or the underlining goal is to shit on a woman and say, don't be like her. But she owned him in that one, right? He's getting embarrassed. So what does all the people that are watching the podcast and following him do? They're going to follow her because she got the, bigger piece of the pie in that particular clip, and it turns into a viral clip. Now that girl that they're shaming becomes famous. That is the psyop. They want the girl to be famous. They want the certain people that they're shaming to become famous because, like I said, the goal is to make people gay, to make people want to do degeneracy, to make people get on OF, to make girls become the OF, the OF models. And that is the psyop right there. So they set these cornballs up to argue with whores to get girls to be whores and to get men to subscribe to the whores. It's a psyop.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I think in the most simplified version is when you have when you're using a large platform like that to promote two sides and both sides are bad influences, you're not contributing anything good to the world.
I agree.
Yeah, and they do it under the guise of dialogue and whatnot, but it's all bullshit. They're just promoting degeneracy one way or another.
So with all that being said, do you think I would go on a whatever podcast and have a debate with the dude?
You personally, probably not. You have a much. It also depends on the influence. Like if the person that has the values that's conflicting with yours has a large audience, and they're platforming you too, and you have because it goes both ways. Like on one hand, you could say, well, I wouldn't do it because I have a big platform. I don't want to introduce my audience to that type of rhetoric and degeneracy. But on the other hand, if they have a big platform, it also gives you the opportunity to show them the other side and why you believe what you believe.
Yes.
So I think that the scale of the platform and the audience has to be a major factor in that decision.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, are you going to platform somebody that's just up and coming and that's running their mouth and doing it? No. But if the person has a very large audience and you know what I mean, then it could be beneficial.
Yeah. So somebody asked me that yesterday, right? Yeah, it was yesterday. And I said, yes, I would go do it mainly because if the person is a loser, their audience are most likely losers also. And those losers they don't want to be losers. They just don't know who to follow, right? So I would go on a platform simply to let the audience know. See, I would talk to the audience and not the person, because the person, I think he's a degenerate loser. But altogether, I would have the conversation in order to let the people that are following this loser know that, hey, there's another way. There's different ways to do different things, right? Because like me and my friends, we went to an event, then we went to another event, right? And we literally got all the women in the event because all of us are single, right? And the other guys, they're just standing there holding their drinks and they're just, all nervous and awkward or whatever. And we're literally running circles around the other guys. So some guys, they're just socially awkward guys. And because women are turning them down and telling them that, they don't want them, they go to people like Andrew Wilson to get fed a certain type of thought process that, yeah, women are dumb, women are this, women are that. No, women are great. You just have issues with the women. So there's a projection that is happening with a lot of these men because they're socially awkward. They look at content that will make them feel good about themselves and make the woman look bad, right? Because out in the world is the opposite, right? But my way is to learn how to approach women, learn how to deal with your own issues with women, deal with the issues with your mother. And then you can go out and have as much fun that I and me and my friends are having out in the world, but they don't know that there's a different type of world. So I would go on a platform to show that there's a different way to deal with women. There's a different way to talk to women. There's a different way to have conversations with women. And it's not about being right. It's about seeking an understanding and letting the women know, like, yo, I'm a safe space. I'm a person that just wants to learn more. Next thing you know, women would not be arguing with these men all the time. But the men come in trying to argue with the women. But I would go in with a conversational approach instead of sitting trying to be right against the Andrew Wilsons of the world. I would just have a conversation with them and say, do you understand what I'm saying? And the next thing you know, he's like, you know what? I can't argue with that. That makes sense. And now people will see the person and not just me as a better person. They're like, damn, he's no longer argumentative. Damn, he's usually like, oh, you stupid. They're actually having a good conversation. And now everybody is better. So yeah, I would do it.
And I hope you do. I hope you find the right opportunity, the stars align, where you get the right platform and that you're able to make a difference. Because I think that it's really important for people to hear these conversations, not just the judgmental ones that are, doing a whole song and dance, just promoting it.
Yeah. So like, for example, this person says not all women are great. Well, not all men are great. We're talking about a man that isn't great, a man that is not great now. Freaking Andrew Wilson, so that is a part of the division. Not all women are great. Well, not all men are great. So that means I'm not great, just like you aren't great. It's okay for not everybody to be on the same level.
Also, you don't change people's minds by attacking them or attacking their beliefs.
Right.
You have to come to an understanding to find out why they do what they do, or why they think the way they think. And a lot of times you find out that with some of these ideologies and behavior, that it's rooted in something that happened like in their past, like in their childhood, that just caused them to just shift in the wrong direction. And if you could backtrack it and just help them heal that, like whatever happened to them, and deal with that trauma from their past, a lot of times you'll find that people will course correct.
Because a lot of the problems that we have, we project how we feel onto other people, whether it's on a podcast or personally, whether within family, in any type of environment, because your goal as a hurt person is to protect yourself.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like when people are under attack, fight or flight kicks in. And then not only that, but then you don't want the person that's attacking you, you don't want to say that they're right, because they're wrong for attacking you. Right. So all of a sudden you're not just defending your belief, but you're defending your own personal integrity. Now the point that you're trying to make, whether you're right or wrong, or the point that they're trying to make against you, I should say, but like it all becomes like conjoined, and it's like a whole, because you're under attack. So you're defending yourself, and in turn you're defending your ideology, which may be wrong.
Right. Being defensive is always a negative thing, because it promotes cortisol flowing through your system instead of oxytocin or dopamine flowing through your system. Right. So the goal is not to be fully healed. The goal is not to be perfect, but the goal is to not project your issues onto other people, because then you're a vampire. Because that's literally what vampires and werewolves do. They run around biting people to make the other monster a monster, the other person become a monster like you.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Zombies bite people to make people zombies. Vampires bite people to make them vampires. So when you are running around projecting your own issues on the other people, you make the other person just like you. And that is the biggest problem. So with me, I like to just offer, like, listen to the other person.
Well, I think it's more of a cause and effect, though. You said that zombies and vampires bite people to make them that. I think that that's a little off. I mean, vampires in some cases, yeah, but like zombies, they just bite to bite. Like they're just mindless.
They don't bite each other.
No, but making others.
I've never seen a zombie movie where they're attacking each other.
Yeah, but it's more convoluted. What I'm saying is the motive doesn't have to be to turn them. Them turning as well could just be an effect of the bite.
Yes.
They could just be biting to eat, biting to feed, and then the effect is that it spreads.
So once a zombie becomes a zombie, then they're no longer a threat to the zombie. See, the healed person.
Well, that's a good way to look at it.
Yes, the healed person is the threat, simply because they are the opposite of the zombie. Zombies, just as an example, and we're using this just as a term, we're not talking about zombies. for anybody just coming in here.
Yeah, it's just an analogy.
The healed person versus the hurt person is what we're talking about, right? So this zombie, which is the hurt person, looks to make the other person hurt. So now they're all hurt, right? Fat people look to make being fat okay, because if everybody was fat, if all women are fat, right, men would have no choice but to date fat women. But fit women over here are fit, right? And now the fit women want the fat women to be fit. So it's always one group trying to get the other group to do something, instead of everybody being like, you know what, you do what you're doing and I do what I'm doing, right? So it's like, I have not much of a problem with Andrew Wilson as an example, but I do see him trying to grow within certain environments problematic, because like I said, I would not be talking about Andrew Wilson if he was not trying to debate Candace Owens. The reason why is because he is a zombie trying to bite Candace Owens. So he can turn around and infect either Candace Owens or infect Candace Owens' audience. So he is literally a zombie coming on a podcast to make other people zombies. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no, I do.
It's one zombie biting one person. He is going to be like a zombie with a microphone on a podcast biting millions of people. But why?
Yeah, but I don't think Candace is worried about her audience flipping to Andrew Wilson's side, though.
I get it, but I'm just looking at Andrew Wilson's his intentions. They're negative because he's a zombie trying to bite more people to make them zombies. Because if more people are degenerate ingrates, he would be happier.
Well, he would definitely get more views.
That's what I'm saying. Because if you are an ingrate and you have a lot of people that follow you that are also ingrates, you're going to be like, damn, how do I make more people stupid and ingrates? Because I'll have a bigger audience, because the only people that watch me are degenerative ingrates, right?
Yeah.
So you want to make more people degenerates. And that is the goal. You make other people zombies like you. So now more people will follow you.
But then you gotta like zoom out the scope a little bit off of just Andrew Wilson and just look at the system. And this is part of the reason, because I was never a religious person. I don't believe in religion, but I do believe in God. And I believe that when you find God and you're just aligned with it, you don't get affected by a lot of this propaganda and a lot of this nonsense the same way. And I really do believe that there is an agenda to demoralize America and Americans and separate them from God, because a society, a country filled with people that truly have faith in God is the biggest threat to the system.
Yes.
Because they're not going to put the system or money before God. And I also think that that's why they say that money is the root of all evil. It's not just about doing evil things for money, but it's the fact that a lot of people, like, especially when they're in positions of desperation and if they've been traumatized in some way, they're easier to control. They're easier to separate from God. But if you have people that are aligned and, like they have that inside of them, and they know it, that they look at the world a lot differently, and they see it more as like a map or like a board, board for a board game, and they're just not going to play the same way anymore.
I totally agree. And when it comes to God, I'm the same way. I'm not a religious person, but I believe in God. And I think all of this religious stuff and the religions and I'm a this, I'm a that is pushing people to be more separated. Oh, I'm a Baptist and I'm a Christian, or I'm a atheist and I'm a this and that. Now it's like, oh, you're bad and this person is, so religion in itself is the problem, because why can't we all just believe in God and just call it a day?
Well, the problem is with religion, it more often than not, way more often than not, it gets organized for political agendas and for power structures and to control the masses and to turn them against each other. When in reality, when it's done on the individual level, that there's nothing better.
Right. Because I think religion turns people into zombies. Like, because if you just like the biggest place that you can see reincarnation of zombies is a church, is a particular religion. When we go like this, you know, they had their hands up, they be doing all this when they get the Holy Ghost, they right. So when you look at religion in particular, those are the biggest zombies because they end up looking like zombies. They literally be like this, you know. So they
but that's not always bad. It depends on if that's what they're doing because of their individual connection, or if somebody's trying to get them to that state to hurt them in one direction or the other.
But
I'm not gonna hate on the dancers, like, you know.
I got it. But the thing about it is putting people in a vulnerable position in order to make them into something that they probably are not expecting to become, right? So what happens is, because like I said, I'm not against all of it, but all of it makes people vulnerable enough where they can get sucked into something that they're not like expecting to get sucked into, is what I'm saying, right? So churches, you know, I'm not against all churches, but a lot of churches, a lot of pastors, they put people in a vulnerable position, and then they'll turn around and say, do this because God said so. Do this because is what the Bible says. And the Bible in itself, and I'm not speaking against the Bible, but the Bible is so ambiguous. There's so much ambiguity in the Bible where somebody, because I've seen it, they could turn around and say, well, the Bible says this. And because the Bible says this, you got to do this. 7 different groups of people can turn around and do that and say,
well, I also think
right here means scripture 7 different things. You get what I'm saying?
No, but you know what? When it comes to scripture, it's not that it means seven different things. It's just that people communicated. But no, it can. But that's like the manipulation, and that's the issue that a lot of people, myself included, have with the Schofield Bible. Because when the Bible was written, I think it was written to mean one thing, and as you know, as time has passed and it's been translated so many times and there's been so many different editions, and then you have study Bibles where it's like they have the initial scripture and then underneath it they'll have pages that try to explain to you what it means through its own interpretation. It gets confused, and I think a lot of times the real meaning of the scripture gets lost in the shuffle from power structures, whether it's this government or that government or this dictator or whoever that is trying to use it to misinterpret certain things to try to manipulate people.
Yeah. So let's do this. Everybody in the chat, give your example of how the Bible can turn around and manipulate people. Like, as an example, Turning Point USA. They have turned into this evangelistic corporation, even though they were not that at first, right? And next thing you know, they're running around doing Make Heaven Crowded tours, and they're using God and they're using the Bible, and God said do this and God said do that. But I can show you something where they're literally saying God said be a Zionist, or God said hold on, let me show it to you. So I'm glad we're in this conversation. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. They're literally running around saying God said make, like, hold on. Let me.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but that's not the Bible's fault. That's the people that are manipulating.
I didn't say this Bible's fault
for that. No, I know.
I said the Bible.
I'm not saying just because a lot of people watching. I just want to make sure that everybody's like on the same page.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes. So what I'm saying is, when I show you the video, you'll get an understanding of what I'm saying. So people manipulate people by using the Bible, and it's hurtful to so many people. Where the hell is the damn video?
And it's not just the Bible, because it's scripture from all different religions. And the more recent the scripture was written, I think the more problematic it could be at times.
Yes.
And that's a generalization, because I believe that a lot of the scripture that was written after the New Testament was written to spite the New Testament. But that goes down a whole other rabbit hole with talking about history and, you know, all the residual effects that the New Testament had on the world and the way that it threatened like this. Because once you look at history, the spread of Christianity threatened a lot of different power structures all over the world. And then all of a sudden you have, you know, I'm not going to name them out, but everybody knows you have other scripture that was written.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why we're in all these wars is because of religion. Do you agree or disagree on that?
Well, I mean, the more that you learn, the more that you read the scripture and then you look at history, the more it feels like the powers that be, whether you call them the government, deep state, whatever, are using the New Testament as kind of like a movie script to try to live out different prophecies that were made because, well, for whatever reason. Yeah, it actually gets a little spooky when you start doing but that's also how I found God, because I realized I'm like you have so many people that actually worship and believe in the devil. So if they believe in the devil and they're using the scripture as a movie script, they have to be doing it for a reason, because this is something that's been going on for generations. There has to be an end goal that they believe something is going to happen.
I can't believe I erased the damn Jack Hibbs video. Hold on one second. I gotta see I'm looking for the video. I can't find it. Okay, so let's get back in. All right. So the video of
yeah, we could get back to Andrew Wilson. We could save this topic for a whole other show, and I could give you some stuff to check out behind the scenes.
Yeah. Okay.
Unrelenting, never stop, and not. This woman, Candace, has been terrorizing both the widow of Charlie Kirk and the organization he left behind. It's obvious her stated goal is to destroy the largest conservative college and high school outreach program currently in existence. Do I disagree with a lot of TPUSA ideas? I do. I would rather try to change them, though, than burn down the only organization in my lifetime to really get a foothold in academia, the thing conservatives have wanted for 60 years. In the following weeks, I will be relentlessly attacked from the Candace Owens cult for daring to put their leader to the question.
There you go again.
For daring to question.
You hear him? Relentless attack. Like, you started this shit, you know?
Question the questioners. I accept that as a side effect of challenging what has become a powerful industry of conspiracy peddling true crime nonsense, which has a sycophantic and cult-like following. They have been at it for days, going through everything they can possibly dig up about me to hurt me, as there is multitudes of millions of dollars on the line for these creators, and they will stop at nothing to protect their interests, regardless of the lives they destroy along the way. Many creators and private individuals have reached out to help me with this
So right here is when he starts begging for money.
Financial burden, and they understand the fallout, which is likely to come for me and my family for doing the right thing when it mattered the most. Now, to be clear, I have already sent Candace the $300,000 and fulfilled my end of the contract with her. If you guys want to help me in bearing that cost, if you guys want to help me in bearing that cost and help cushion the overwhelming attacks from her sycophants, here's where you can donate. Many of us are in this fight together, win or lose. Maybe I can do something to change its course for the entirety of the conservative movement.
He's trying to lead the crusade. You don't think it's a noble cause? You don't think that he's just trying to get more people involved?
He's trying to make more people zombies, man. He's trying to make more people zombies.
He's trying to save the conservative movement. You don't want Trump to run again in 2028?
No, absolutely not. So he's the actual zombie that's trying to make other people zombies, man. And I think it's sad, but you know, that side, you know, he wants to feed his family. And I'm not mad at a person trying to come up with a different way of, you know, whether it's hurting people or helping people, trying to feed their family. Because, you know, if you look at a wolf or if you look at a lion or a bear, they're going to take down an antelope and kill the antelope in order to do what? Feed their family, right?
Well, if Andrew really wants to feed his family, he should be working on that pickle jar.
Put together a course on how to open a pickle jar.
You got that clip? Yo, I'm telling you, I hope that freaking Candace has a jar of pickles on the. That would be like the best mind game ever.
Hold on, where? Yeah, I got
Pregnant women like pickles.
They do. They actually do. You're right.
Owens after $300,000.
Debate me, Candace.
So I think this was pickle jar one.
We offered Candace Owens after $300,000 to do a debate.
Debate me, Candace. Candace, look at me, Candace. I'm like, ew. Like the sissy culture of men online saying, and there's something also just extraordinarily like gay, like 90s gay about like men that do that full time online. And she's like, I'm like, stop. Like, stop being a woman. Like, let us do that. Men, when men podcast, they can't podcast like women.
Presidential debate is two people looking to become president. So it makes sense. So I'm going to take the podium and I'm going to talk to the audience. See, I'm not talking to the other person doing an actual debate. I'm letting the audience know, hey, I'm the better candidate than this person. And here's what I'm going to do. If you, the audience, gives me your vote, I'm going to do this, and this better than that person over there. That is what an actual debate is. But these weirdos, they want to get online and say, well, the way you think is wrong and the way I think is right. That is gay. Why do you care? So what Candace is saying right here is 100% correct. It is gay. So a lot of people's like, why would you say it's gay? Well, Candace said it's gay too. So it's not just me. It is gay. I think when a man acts like a woman, I think that's part of, gayness, because you're acting like a woman. So if you're whining and crying about somebody doing something to you when you started it, you're acting like a girl, So yeah. But what are your thoughts on that? I wish I could find that Jack Hill's video, but I want to do a separate video about religion. So yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we definitely.
Also, man, I can't find it.
I mean, it goes back to what I said earlier, that when you see men lash out at women like that, and it's not just limited to women, but when you see men get like extra defensive and lash out in general, it's usually coming from a place of weakness and insecurity, not strength.
Right.
And I just wish that more people realized that and identified that, because the fact that they don't tells me that there are a lot more men out there that share these insecurities.
I totally agree. So let's read the super chats. So I'm just going to run through them real quick.
Oh, yeah. Let me.
All right.
So I see Renee. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. She said, just because. Have a great day. And you got Courtney, Uncle Alert. Courtney again, jamming. Gold coin. Yeah, I wish we could actually see the emojis, because that's what it is, right?
Yeah,
Emojis
that's what
pop up in the
these
chat.
are, emojis that kind of like pop up on the screen. I have another screen, so they pop up on that one.
Critter, thank you for the membership. We got Rage Bronson in the chat. How do you come together with people that have fundamentally different worldviews? Be specific. Crucible Army, sup bays. Yeah. Rage is a Andrew Wilson fan. But you think about what you're saying. You're saying that how do people come together that have fundamentally different views? Doesn't Andrew Wilson come together with people with fundamentally different views every time he's on the Whatever podcast?
No. He doesn't come together with them. Keyword come together. See,
the interpretation. You're saying, how do you come together in a positive way?
With somebody that has different views is by asking them questions and not by arguing with them.
Yeah, it's just being respectful.
Okay, like one, why do you think that way? And two, what is the features and benefits of your thought process? And then they'll say, well, I say this and think this and believe this because of A, B, and C. And you're like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So now you're getting their point of view instead of just arguing with them. Then you say, well, my features and benefits of my point of view is this and that. And then you turn around and take their features and benefits and your features and benefits and say, okay, can one person utilize both of these and they become a better person? And if they're so opposite, then you got to say, okay, would it make more sense for you to come over to my side or this side due to the fact that my features and benefits make more sense in this context? Now you could turn around by asking them and by putting everything out up, like up on the wall. You're like, you know what? that actually would get me farther. I would make more money. I would get more of this. I would get more attention. I would get more women. My life would be better if I go over to your side. And now the person is in a position where they have a choice of sides to go in instead of trying to like push something down somebody's throat and argue like, my way is better and your way is worse. That's how people come together.
Well, I think that the real trick is, the easier way to say it is, you have to find the common ground and then build from there. Don't start with the difference. You know, like if you're going to debate somebody and you're going to do it in good faith, and you like genuinely want to get something positive to come out of it, you have to talk to that person first and find some sort of common ground.
And I agree with you. So, but what if there's no common ground? It's just my way.
You could always find common ground with somebody somewhere.
Yeah. So that's how I look at it from a features and benefits standpoint, and give people a choice. And they could choose to stay where they are. They could choose to come on your side, or you can choose to come on their side, because a lot of times we have so many differences, but out of lack of information.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And, you know, unfortunately in America, and I'm sure it's like this in most countries, our education system is really an indoctrination system.
Yeah, I agree. So like, if you look at the debate with Candace Owens and Andrew Wilson, Candace Owens is going to just tear his ass up, or Candace Owens is going to enlighten him to some things that he didn't think about. But because of Andrew Wilson's ego and his problematic way of thinking, there's nothing inside of him that's going to have him say, damn, you know what? I didn't think about that. You make a great point. And that's the problem. If both people were to come to a debate or a conversation with the open-mindedness of, if you can change my way of thinking, I'm okay with that. Most people who debate, they are so stuck in trying to win the debate, they'll do anything to win. And it's not about winning. So to answer the guy's question, stop trying to win and start learning to just seek information. That is how two people come together.
Well, that's like, and then, you know, it goes back down, it comes back to motivation. Like, what is Andrew's motivation for this?
Yeah.
Is he actually looking for the truth? Is he trying to learn something?
No.
Or is he just a mercenary for hire?
That's
Because and then this goes back to what I was saying before about like faith in God. Like, if you believe in God, then you're always going to put truth. Like, if you really believe in God and you put God first, then that is going to come back. That is going to come before financial incentives and financial motivation. You're going to want the truth. You're not gonna, you know, the money's gonna come after.
Yeah, because you can get the money and the truth if you want to.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Shout out to Aja Monday for the jewels.
Dale, member for 5 months. Thank you very much. Wilson needs a little activation of his spirit molecule. I'm not going to say that other part. Seriously, couldn't hurt. And she gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much, guys. If you received one of those memberships from Dale or anybody else, make sure you give a thank you in the chat. We got D Barnes. Mr. Lecco, are you familiar with I said D Barnes, A Barnes.
A Barnes.
Are you familiar with A Barnes?
No.
He's becoming a bit of a legend in the super chats.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Shout out to A Barnes.
Faith can move mountains. Proper principles in high places will carry you through the valley of the shadow of death. Wise words. Thank you very much. He's getting smarter too. When he first started popping up, sending supers, he was a little more critical. He was a little more on the attack, but he seems to be softening up. And we got Barnes again.
Shout out to you.
Power corrupts while Christians heal, and so the sun runs his circuit, proving the devil to be a liar. Meanwhile, the greedy consume. Yeah,
that's it. The greedy consume like zombies
and vampires, just like you said.
Shout out to the Steel Man. Thank you for the gold coin. Rachel Owen, I I take it I'm a regular person. 300,000. This is getting out of control. In my opinion, I find it vulgar without sounding like a hypocrite. Would you take 300,000 to debate the worst person that you've ever the one person you can't stand? Would you take 300,000 to debate them?
Oh, if I had the money, I would pay it. I was saying this the other day on another live stream because we were talking about people we'd want to debate, and I would love to debate or at least have a conversation with BB. I would do that in a heartbeat. If I had the money, I would cough up 300,000 to make that happen.
Interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting right there. You would pay 300,000 to debate BB.
If I had it, yeah, one of the most influential men in the world, of course.
Yeah, I would end up getting killed. So I'll end up getting killed because at the end of the day, say you win the debate and he's petty. And now you got to remember, controlling the narrative and pushing the narrative or a narrative is the most important thing for him. And if you were to come on there and just dog walk him, you're probably gonna die.
Well, no, I'm not even talking about it on a public platform. I mean, if I was able to do so behind the scenes, yeah,
okay.
I would sign the NDA and everything.
Okay, but you get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, no, I 100% get what you're saying.
If you put him in a position where he's losing more of the country because of how nobody likes him, and you make people not like him more, you're probably gonna die.
Well, I probably should have specified. I wasn't even thinking about like platform. I was just thinking about the conversation and trying to influence the influencers. You know how they say trolling the trolls?
Yeah.
Like trolling the trolls could be fun, but I'd rather influence the influencers.
But yeah, I would dog walk him and I would end up dying because of that. So I would not, hell no. I don't want him to know I exist. Like he's a,
well, I hate to break it to you,
he's a demon.
He probably does, or somebody under him likely
somebody
does.
under him, yeah, because he's a demon. So because the thing about it is, I wouldn't want him to see me as an actual adversary. He might know who I am, look me up or whatever, sees me as one of these people. But if I dog walk him in front of a whole bunch of people, now I'm a direct adversary. So no.
I mean, if he handed me a pager, I'd probably get a little nervous.
Shout out to Jade with a silver star.
We got Dale. Thank you very much. I'm whiny like a chick today. Any donors to support my debate with this mirror? It just keeps calling me fat, so rude, or just my unhealed trauma. Dale is a real one. She's one of the OGs. And Rachel coming through with the GOAT trophy. Thank you very much.
All right, so that's it. So, hold on, what happened? Hold on, I hit the wrong button.
That's all right. It happens.
All right, give me a second. I gotta do something to change it back. Boom. Okay. All right, we're back. All right, so there's another video I wanted to play, but I actually said a lot of the things, but I'm just going to play it anyway because the stupidest shit that I ever seen in my life. Watch this.
Weeks ago, Brian Atlas, a friend of mine who runs whatever, $100,000 to debate with me about the murder of Charlie Kirk on his platform. He eventually raised it to $150,000, to which I said I would match it if we could actually debate on neutral ground. They have been at it for days, going through everything they can possibly dig up about me to hurt me.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies.
You lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
I want y'all to hear the words. He says, they're pulling up things to hurt me. You said the things, you stupid idiot. Here's the problem with these little red pill dudes. So this man is mad that people are digging up things that he has said on public platforms. So I want you to think about him saying, they're pulling up things to hurt me. He invited a woman on his podcast and then turns around and calls her a stupid bitch and then starts talking shit about her sexual orientation. But out of nowhere, he's the victim of what he said to her.
Many creators and private individuals have reached out to help me with this financial burden.
Financial burden? You started this shit. This man spent 2 months harassing and begging Candace Owens to debate him. And mind you, Candace Owens had no idea of who Andrew Wilson was. Do you believe that part? She had no idea who Andrew Wilson was.
I could believe that. I didn't know who he was.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
You know, I don't know what she's watching, what she's not watching. And one thing that I've learned since I started making content, when you start making content between the video, the editing itself, the research, the keeping up with, you know, whatever topics you're covering, networking, and then if you have a family as well, you really don't have time for much. Like I rarely have enough time in the day to do everything that I want to do.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you something real quick. Did you see my crash out yesterday?
No.
Well, since you played a couple of clips, you mind sharing one of mine? I had a pretty. This is just a short, like clipped up version. So after I watched Candace, I had a video that I was premiering yesterday. It was my interview with Lala Andrews. So I'm like, you know what? Before the premiere, let me go live for a little bit and try to like build up the audience. And I was watching Candace and I was looking at the picture, because I mean, let's face it, the individual in that garage is not Tyler Robinson in the picture that came out 2 days ago, whatever it was. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, there's 350 million Americans. Like, how do more people not care? Because the system, it only gets away with what it's doing if people don't care. The second everybody wakes up and starts getting organized, things get shut down pretty quickly. Like, we are in control of our own destiny. And I feel like the biggest psyop, like when you talk about psyops, the biggest psyop is convincing people that it's out of their hands, that there's no hope, that what's going to happen is going to happen, that we don't have the power to make the change. Now, this, if you want to play the clip, this was my crash out.
All right, here we go.
This is what happens when I get all worked up. You're getting like the calm, cool, collected base. This is the other side.
And I like the crash out base. Check this out. Here we go.
The right's afraid of the gays. The lefts are afraid of Jesus. We know who we should all be afraid of, but we're not allowed to say it. And they're the ones controlling everything. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about? I say it all the time, and I know some people get mad at me when I say it, but the biggest threat to the establishment is Jesus. It is faith in Jesus, because when you believe in God and you acknowledge that there is a God, then you also acknowledge that there is a devil. And then you realize that it is the devil that controls this world and that you are literally being oppressed by the devil. What would you rather do? Would you rather just submit and suck the devil's dick? No, sorry, or would you rather say, fuck you, I would rather die? Like, I know my choice. I know my choice. I want to be with God. I don't even want to be here anymore. Like, this is like insane. It's insane. This world is just so screwed up. And it's like nobody cares. Everybody's just freaking marching to the beat of the drum, like boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot how vulgar it was. Cool. So, I should have warned you.
I want to say this. It's cool to curse, but I don't want to be cursing throughout over again.
Yeah, so no, I don't do it gratuitously. It just kind of slips out.
So here's the thing that I see with that. Because a lot of people, and this is just about, how everybody sees their perspective, right? And this is just my opinion. I think we are in heaven. And a lot of other people think we are in hell. We think it's so terrible and so this, so that, right? But when you just look at the world itself, like, trees are there for us to live, right? Animals are here for us to live. We're never going to run out of water unless, the government does some stupid shit. We're never going to run out of food unless the government does some stupid shit, right? The government is literally burning down buildings and all this other shit, right? Burning down crops. They're changing the law. So the government is making it where we can run out of food. And I would say that's the devil and the hell part. But the world itself, it runs on its own. Like, think about this. No matter where you go on earth, there's oxygen. There's oxygen, and there's it's never going to go away, right? The sun comes up, orbits, however you want to look at it. We orbit the sun, whatever. But the sun comes up every day. There's never going to be a day the sun doesn't come up. And the sun is just far enough where we don't freeze to death, but it's close. It's at the right point where we don't freeze to death and we don't burn to death. So that means there is a God, And if there is a God, I can't forsake the place that he put us at and say it's not something that he wants it to be, right? So I look at everything on earth is put together for us to live. Food,
Yeah, you have
water.
you're 100% right. You're 100% right. God
Yeah.
gave us paradise, and there are just people in
And the
power that are just
people.
trashing it. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I don't believe in the devil. I believe in demons. Because
I believe in demons too. Oh wait, hold on. This is gonna get fun.
Okay.
So let me ask you,
Yeah.
because for the longest time, when you talk about like fun conspiracy theories,
Mhm.
the most fun one was always UFOs.
Yeah.
Now, I always believed, I'm like, if the world is this big, like you see space, you see all the planets, there's
Mhm.
got to be something there, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
But then I grow up and I start finding out that they're lying to us about a lot of things.
Yeah.
They lied to us about the food pyramid.
Mhm.
You know, they even lied to us about the map.
They lied about the map.
They
Milk
lied about the map.
milk
Yeah,
is not
yeah.
good for you.
When you look at the map that they teach kids in school,
The map is wrong.
that's the Randall McNally version. That's the
Mhm.
one that the CIA influenced to get
Yeah.
taught in American public schools. Now,
Yeah.
the reason they use that map, it makes North America and Europe look bigger, and it also makes them look central. But in
Mhm.
reality, when you see the real one, it's North America. If North America was in the middle, then we'd be by the equator and it would
Yeah.
be a lot hotter, but that's not the case. It gets
It's
cold,
not.
especially up north.
Yeah.
So North America is to the top left. It's also a lot smaller than they led us to believe.
Mhm.
And Europe is closer to the top right. Greenland is very small. But you look at the map that they taught us in school, North America and Europe are all big. South America, they made a little smaller. Africa, they made a lot smaller. Like if you
Mhm.
look at like the actual size of Africa in
It's
comparison
bigger.
to North America and Europe,
Right.
it is massive.
It's
It
massive.
is
Yeah.
massive. So they lied to us about the food pyramid. They lied to us about the map. I don't know about you, but I think they lied to us about the moon landing.
Yes. All of this shit was a lie.
So then
let me say this.
what do we really know about the world?
We
Is
don't
the
know
world
anything.
really as big
Look,
as they
think
lead
about
us
this.
to believe? Is space going infinitely
Think about this. Think about this. Do you know that they had the globe? Remember when you was little, the globe would be sitting in front of the in class or whatever. You could spin it around.
Yep.
Do you know they had a picture of the globe itself before we ever went out of space? And this is a fact. Before we ever went out in space, that went out there to see what's out there was a globe. There was a map. How
You
the
know that
fuck?
there were maps? Do you know that there were maps with Antarctica that predate when they tried to tell us that they discovered Antarctica?
And they discovered it. Right. All of this is a lie. I think
They're
everything is a lie.
lying to us a lot. I don't know if the world is really as big as we're being led to believe. I think that by making the world appear to be so big
Mhm.
and telling you to trust the science, that all these different anomalies and coincidences and like led to the earth being formed and evolution and all that, I think that it's really designed to make us feel small. I think
Mhm.
it's one more way to try to separate people from God and why we're really
Yes.
here and how we came about. And I don't know if I believe in UFOs anymore. I think that they're just demons. I think, even AJ was right that they're probably not just demons, but that they're interdimensional beings. I think that a lot of these different conspiracy theories and a lot of different things that were taught, and even in scripture, that when you talk about perception and manipulation of information, I think that a lot of things have been twisted up to rationalize things that they don't want to explain. Not even
Yeah.
not even that can't be explained, but that they don't want to be explained.
Yeah.
I'm also a firm believer that there is a lot more land on this planet than they want us to believe, and I
Mhm.
think that is the reason why they don't let people pass Antarctica. I do believe that there is at least one other continent with a civilization that we're just
Yeah.
not privy to.
When I was younger, I didn't believe none of this stuff, right? And I said, I would like to grow up, buy a plane, and just fly and see everything for myself. You can't do that because there's airspace regulations. So you can't even get in a plane and go see for yourself. you'll get warned to land, or they'll shoot you out of the damn sky.
Yeah.
Or
what
you'll
are they
get
what are they hiding over there? How
What are
is
they
it that they signed that peace treaty? Well, not really a peace treaty, but yeah, I guess in a sense it is a peace treaty. But right after World War II and around the time that the Cold War started, countries were going to Antarctica and they all agreed that it's off limits, that they're not going to
Yeah.
fight over it, that they're not going to go.
Mhm.
Now, do you really think with all the resources, all these wars that have been fought over oil and different resources, there's more of that in Antarctica? Like Antarctica has the cleanest reservoir on the planet.
Mhm.
And America didn't want to fight over that?
I agree.
They
agree.
agreed with the Soviets during the Cold War that they weren't going to fight over that?
Yeah.
Or did someone tell them that they're not going to fight over that?
Somebody said, who's going to shoot you out of the sky in Antarctica? If you go to Antarctica, there are ships already out there that would shoot you out the sky or arrest you or demand you to, surrender your boat. So however you get out there, you can't go out. You can't get out there. Like you'll get arrested or you'll get killed. That is a fact.
And when you go to Antarctica, you are very limited in like this like little touristy place that they allow you to go. Like you can't just go to Antarctica, on like a tourist trip and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go," I'm gonna detour and go do some sightseeing. They don't let you.
And I'll say this to go farther with the conspiracy theories. I think outer space is underwater, and not. I don't think there is an outer space. I don't think there are all these planets. I don't think there are aliens that can come to the planet. Because if you look at the Earth, what they tell us is just a big ball of air, right? And if it was a big ball of air and it's just an atmosphere, all kinds of shit would be like passing through the Earth. Forget about trying to hit the Earth. It would be shit just passing through. Why does nothing ever, meteors, whatever, ever pass through the Earth? Because part of the Earth is just atmosphere, it's just air. You would just randomly see something passing through this way because it will be a globe. And you get what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, I think the space aliens or whatever, I think it's underwater.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of
because that's one place
that we don't know
you
about.
absolutely cannot go because you can't go that far. And I think, just like in Antarctica, where they're guarding is underwater in Antarctica.
It's very possible.
So, yeah.
It's more believable than what they're telling us.
Right. But at the end of the day, I don't really care. I just want to be happy. You know what I'm saying? And I think the more we try to learn about shit that either we don't supposed to learn about or we have trouble learning about, we're just going to find trouble. I just want to be out here, date, have a ball, spend time with my kids, eat good food, travel the places that I can travel to and be happy. I don't try to overthink things. I don't want to just go crazy in debating whether the earth is flat, whether I don't care, So I have a little conspiracy theory in me, but I like to just keep it to myself and just have fun with it.
Yeah, I've never gone deep down the flat earth theory. Yeah. I feel like once you go, yeah, it's I don't know. Like I said, there's only so much time in a day, and I want to make content that could wake people up
and help
and make positive changes in their lives.
And that's it.
I hit a period like around the time that the files came out where I like that video crashing out. I was crashing out every day and I was lashing out too.
Yeah.
And it wasn't coming from a place of insecurity. It was just like a disgust. Like I got really, really blackpilled by this administration in the last 2 years. And it was even harder for me because I was a Trump supporter. I was MAGA. I supported him for 10 years.
Presidents are real?
Huh?
Do you think presidents are real?
What do you mean presidents are real?
Do you think presidents are real? Do you actually think there's a guy that runs for president and he becomes president and we vote for him to be president? I don't think any of that shit is real.
I think that when presidents win the election, that they have all these things that they want to do. And then after the election, you get a couple of guys in black suits and briefcases that tell them, like, okay, what's the one thing that you really want? Like, what's the one thing you want to be known for? It's like, maybe we'll give you that, but the rest is going to be business as usual.
Okay.
I think that that's what the primaries are for. I think that the way that the system has been established, that they use the primaries to filter out the people that are going to really make change, and that everybody else, like the people that usually, like the candidates that typically get pushed through, are just the people that are already with the system. The the politics is more theater. I say it's like WWE.
I was about to say that.
Doesn't necessarily mean that they that they don't really dislike each other, or that they don't really have differences in opinion. But I think that when it comes to the big decisions, like when it comes to like energy and land and wars and all of that, that is going to be business as usual, regardless of who actually
And that's my
wins.
point. I think us voting for presidents, local government is different. But I think us voting for presidents is like giving your kid a phone and watching your kid talk on the phone, thinking they're actually talking to somebody. So they give us this power to think that we actually are in control of who becomes president. I don't believe that.
I think that if people got organized and enough people woke up, that we could have that. I think that it's just that the game has just been rigged for so long, and the indoctrination was very effective.
But I think we have the power to change the game. That's what I'm saying. We change the system. All these different systems in place, I think we can become a system of ourselves and then actually change the bigger system. Because it's like, if there's a small cog that develops and it starts making sense, and then you bring another cog next to that and it starts working in unison with that cog, next thing you know, it turns into a big ass system. And then this system of cogs becomes more advantageous, and it makes more sense than this old system. And then we'll start using this system over here. I think that's kind of like why you buy a new car. Your car gets old and you want to get a newer car. I think we need to be the new system.
Well, not me. Ever since they passed that legislation, starting 2027, every new car by law is going to have a camera in it that's connected to AI, and it's going to be watching you and analyzing you at all times. And if the government ever has a reason to shut off your car, there's a kill switch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to be driving old Toyotas till the day that I die.
Yep. I got a newer car and I got an older car, and I know that my older car can get shut off or run me off of a damn road whenever it wants to, because it already does it. Like, the lane deterrent thing is because of cameras. So whenever I go over the lane, my steering wheel literally pulls me over. It's because of the camera. So my car literally reminds me that it's in control of itself on a normal basis, but my older car doesn't. But yes, I agree.
And even that opens up a whole other debate in and of itself, because on one hand, like, you have three different situations. You have one situation where you might have people at some point that are going to push for driverless vehicles, where you're not going to have that control anymore, that you're going to just get in the car, it's going to go. You have the other system, like what you explained, how like you're driving, but they have the ability to steer the wheel. And with the new legislation, they could shut down the car if they don't want you to go where you're going for whatever reason. Yeah. And then you have what we've been experiencing for the last 100 years, and that's just being in control of your car. And that is sovereignty. But with that sovereignty, you are going to have more accidents. You are going to have more people die. But the question is what is more valuable to the world and to the country as a society? Is it better? Do you want your sovereignty, knowing that you're probably going to have more fatalities, or do you want to trade that sovereignty for what could be a false sense of security? Because on one hand, they could tell you that there's going to be less deaths but what if the system gets bugged? What if the cars all spin out and people get hurt? Or
that's what I'm about to say.
Or what if you get targeted for some reason? What if overall there's less people that pass away, but all of a sudden you start seeing some single car accidents with people that might have been looking where they shouldn't have been looking?
So I'm gonna say this: the world will be better, or would be better, if we had less control. We don't want to lose our control because, like you said, control of who? So if the right group or the right entity controlled us, the world would be better. But
I
the
actually
right
agree with
people
that,
are
but we
not.
don't have the right people.
We don't
You would
have the
need
right
people
people that
that
control
have
us.
your best interest at heart.
Right.
And right now, what we've seen for the last 100 years is a lot of greedy, godless,
Mhm.
like freaking demons that have just
Yeah.
been running things and just demoralizing us and oppressing
Because
us
the
and
reason
controlling us.
and the reason why it's so many demons is because once they, because I've never done it, so I can't just say you, but once they have made a certain amount of money, kind of like what we were saying earlier, once you see the other side and you get in certain rooms, those people worship other things. And you'll realize it's not about money, it's about worshiping this thing.
Well,
And you
money is just a
now,
construct anyway.
yeah,
Money
so
is just a
it's about
construct.
what
The
they're
reason that we
worshiping.
use the dollar is because it allows the banking systems and the military industrial complex and the oil refineries to control the world.
Yes,
If
I
there
agree.
was more, if there were multiple currencies and a barter system, and you didn't have all this like geopolitical legislation saying that oil had to be sold with bought and sold with the dollar as the
Yeah.
form of currency, then people would have a lot more freedom as well because
Yep.
they wouldn't be chained to the dollar.
Mhm. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. But
Like,
let's stop right here. Somebody said Baron is about to go live at 3.
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
guess
No, we've been going for a while. I could go
we've been
all
going
day
for a
with you. This
while.
conversation's been
We
great.
can
We went
literally
over
go
2
all
hours.
day. So let's do this probably once a week, bro. Like
I don't know if
because
I can commit to once a week, but we'll definally do
on
it
a normal
again
basis.
very soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
I got some commitment issues. I don't always, because there's always
I'm the same way. Like,
there's a lot going on.
bro, I see Coach Collins. This man goes live every weekday. I'm like, how do you do it? I have commitment issues. I'm
Well,
the
do you
same
you
way.
have a members only channel?
Uh-uh.
No, you don't do members?
Well, yeah, yeah. I have members. Yeah. What do you say? A channel? You said a channel.
No. I mean like in YouTube, like how it does the memberships.
I do my shit on Patreon mainly.
Oh, you
Yeah.
do stuff on Patreon? Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just YouTube. I got other social medias, but like for the
Yeah.
most part, my show's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I stream on Kick too, but right now I'm just trying to grow the YouTube.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I do a lot of random like I'm trying to like have
A lot
like
of my stuff be
my
random.
schedule organized.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
random as hell.
I normally stream at night. I don't really do the daytime streams too much,
Oh,
but I'm
gotcha.
starting to do more like members only stuff. So that's
Yeah.
what I was saying. If you have a members thing, we could go back and forth on there too. Because
Okay.
I'm trying to
Okay.
get more guests and get more of these conversations on the to promote the members channel.
Okay. Yeah. 1,000%. 1,000%. But yeah, man, because we have so many different things that we can talk about, like we gotta separate this instead of just all being on one live. So yeah.
Yeah, we got to get Danks on the conversation too. You got to come on a Saturday night with us.
Saturday night, I'll pull up. The
You'll pull
Saturday
up?
nights that y'all were I've been doing a lot of stuff outside. So on the weekend, and then I'll be doing tour dates or whatever. But yeah, I will definitely do that with y'all.
Yeah.
This
Just
Saturday, I
let me
think
know when
I'll
you're
be-
open.
I'll be open.
I know you got a lot of stuff going on. The last
Yeah.
time I tried to get you on a Saturday, it didn't pan
Yeah.
out. But yeah, next
Okay.
time, next time you're open on a Saturday, let me know.
All right, y'all. So make sure to follow the Real Bays or Real Bays on Instagram, Real Bays on YouTube, Real Bays on Kick. Make sure to follow this guy. He is brilliant. He is brilliant. I learned so much from
Thank
Bays.
you.
Yeah.
And to my followers, make sure you follow Mr. Let Go on all platforms as well. I think we got a couple more supers though. You want to just read the rest and then we'll wrap this up?
All right. So let's see. All right. What do we stop at?
We're up to Dale, the last one we read. Up one above it. Yeah, right there. Dale says, "You say crash out. I see an impassioned man on fire." Well, thank you very much. That's very kind. Rachel, a debate for 300 pounds. I'm confident I'd fail. We got an Uncle Alert.
Uncle Alert.
We got Rachel again, watching from England while sat on a hill waiting for a partial eclipse. It's more entertaining watching this live.
Oh, I appreciate that.
86 says beat the system from within. Absolutely.
That is a fact.
Couldn't agree more. We got a gold coin. We got Mrs. Gotch. So great to see you live during the day. Yeah, I show up sometimes. And then Dale gifting 5 more Real Bays memberships. Thank you very much. And guys, thank you very much. Mr. Let Go. Make sure you give him a follow. Thank you so much for doing this again. Yeah, I could probably make some time next week. Do a quick follow up. This way people don't gotta wait.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I will talk to all of y'all later.
Have a great day, everybody.
All right. So they like when I play the like button songs. Oh, I got different songs over here. So you hold on. Let me play this. See what you think about this one. Hold on, then we'll be out of here. I got a Candace song. Oh, here it is right here. Oh, here it is. This is a Candace song right here.
Is a evil scumbag. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit.
As we all know, Candace Owens is spinning a lot of suggestions. We can't keep spinning conspiracy theories without evidence. People are going to get hurt. People are going to get hurt. People are going to get hurt.
Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? If you got something to say, tell it to her face. If you got something to say, tell it to her face. All of this is fake and gay, and you know it. I got all the evidence. I'm about to show it. You projecting all your guilt out on us and Candace. We just trying to solve the case. I don't understand it. Things not turning out how you planned it. We can see it in your eyes and your body language. I see all the threats that you keep sending me, but underneath the jail is where you finna be. Your band of crooked pastors in the pulpit. Every time you speak, all I hear is bullshit. Tell the truth about Charlie Kirk instead of telling me to stop. All I wanna know is which guy took the shot. I need an answer to a question only you would know. Was Charlie Kirk's life a reenactment of the Truman Show? Truman Show. 100,000 of us on your head tie. Please stop trying to feed us all this fed slide. Your grieving widow book tour, we ain't listening to it. And free Tyler Robinson, cause you know he didn't do it. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. What? Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace. Everybody wanna hate Candace.
Yo, that's so funny. That is so good. That is so good.
All right, y'all. All right, bro. I'll talk to you later. All right.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
This just in, a new way of healing is This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.